Argentina may seem an unusual place to check on the progress of cricket in Afghanistan, but Buenos Aires recently hosted the ICC's World Cricket League Division 3. After an opening loss to Uganda, the Afghans got their campaign back on track with victories over Hong Kong, Papua New Guinea and Argentina. That left Afghanistan needing to win their final game against the Cayman Islands with a good run rate to be sure of promotion. Their batsmen posted an impressive 230 runs, the highest total of the tournament, while the bowling attack reduced the Cayman Islands to 148 all out, securing a comfortable win for Afghanistan. Not surprisingly, in a country with so little to cheer about, the team were greeted with adulation upon their return to Kabul airport. April will see them flying out again, this time for the World Cup qualifiers in South Africa and a chance to play in the 2011 ICC Cricket World Cup, where Afghanistan would face the strongest cricketing nations on the planet. A stunning achievement for a team only formed 8 years ago. Nauroz Mangal is the team captain.
All these other countries are at least 50 or 60 years ahead of Afghanistan in terms of their cricket development. In spite of that, we Afghans have been able to play the game and win against tough opposition, which is a big achievement in such a short space of time. And I hope that in the not too distant future, we'll be able to let the people of this country watch us compete against cricket giants like India, Australia and Pakistan.
The British originally introduced cricket to Afghanistan in 1838, but the national team was only formed after the overthrow of the Taliban allowed players to return home from refugee camps in cricket-mad Pakistan. Training facilities in Kabul may be basic, but it hasn't prevented Afghanistan's rise through the cricketing ranks. Last May, the team clinched the ICC Division 5 title in Jersey. In October, they travelled to Tanzania and secured promotion from Division 4.
After the Taliban government collapsed in 2001, I headed back over to Afghanistan the following year. I had a trial and became one of the leaders of the Afghan cricket team. At that time, there were many problems. The roads were in a terrible state. Sometimes it used to take 7 or 8 hours to get to Kabul. On some occasions, I started my journey at noon and only got home at 10 or 11 at night. So basic travel was very difficult.
After so many years of conflict, Afghanistan bears the scars of war. Not surprisingly, its economy has suffered, and life is a struggle for most living here. Afghan cricketers rely on sponsorship, but can also generate income by playing for teams in Sri Lanka and Pakistan, perhaps earning $500 a month, a far cry from the riches on offer to cricket's elite.
We had to deal with a lot of abuse to get the team up and running. We even had to deal with objections at home. Often we were asked, "What can cricket do for you?" as there's no money in it. Other guys out working in the fields get maybe $1,000 or $2,000 a month. You guys get nothing.
Now that the government has grasped cricket's value in promoting a more positive image of Afghanistan, the game's financial footing should improve. In keeping with the team's rising status, a female government minister was called upon to speak at the press conference to celebrate their triumphant return from Argentina.
I used to live in a village, and when we played cricket, we did so with a tennis ball. But things changed after I returned from Pakistan. I began to play in tournaments and take part in proper games with proper equipment. It was much better. Then we went abroad to play in international competition, and I started to become famous and appear on TV. Playing cricket meant that people would recognize me, and then I even got to meet President Karzai. It was a big honor for me to meet the president, and I was very happy.
Kabul is still a city in turmoil, with its infrastructure crippled after so many years of conflict. But there are now signs of recovery out on the streets. In a country blighted by violence, sport and cricket provide a welcome escape, and the nation's children idolize their cricketing heroes, rather than any military commanders or politicians.
First, when we were playing cricket, people were not all that interested in it. But now that's not the case. The Afghanistan team is playing really well, and we've won lots of matches. We've just won our last 4 consecutive games. Now people are really keen, and I always see kids getting out and playing cricket with real enthusiasm. And that's got to be a good sign for the future of Afghan cricket.
Cricket's future in Afghanistan should also be cemented by the government's decision to provide $2 million to build a new state-of-the-art indoor cricket academy. It should ensure that aspiring young cricketers, as well as the national team, are able to train all year round in a safe, secure environment. Taj Malik Alam is the National Academy coach.
It's just not possible to play cricket in Kabul all year round, because we have snow for about 6 months of the year. Because of that, we're now going to build this indoor cricket academy, which will make use of all the latest technology and equipment, just like Pakistan's National Academy in Lahore. So hopefully, we'll soon be able to qualify to play in 4-day matches, and then eventually even in test matches. And that's why we want this indoor facility.
In a country beset by so many difficulties, the sight of Afghanistan on the world stage for something other than tragedy is a welcome one. It's little wonder that cricket is so much more than just a game for the Afghan people.
The Afghan cricket team is the only sports team we have over here, which has generated widespread support all over the country. And I'm sure every Afghan prays for the success of this team. All Afghans, even those who've been touched by tragedy, pray for us.
After the difficulties that the Afghan cricket team have already overcome to make it through to the World Cup qualifiers, it looks like cricket's most surprising good news story is set to continue.